Coming up on Talk is Cheap, we're going to look at human mutilation cases. Yes, this is some pretty freaky shit. I think everybody was a little squeamish. Check it out. Talk is Cheap. Talk, and talk is cheap. I am Dan Hohlfeld. I'm joined by my good buddy Pete Halbleib. How you doing? You had that makeup sex with Dusty a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Dusty's here on the right.
And I made him sore.
And he's still smiling damn straight. It's amazing my guts don't fall out.
Oh, that was a sight. Oh.
Wait. Who was giving it to who?
I was giving it to him.
Oh, poor guy.
Come on.
Yeah, well, you can't rape the willing, Dusty.
I tried.
All right, let's pull this one back out of the gutter.
This next topic was submitted by a viewer, Sherrod Hall, who have actually called and talked to him on the phone. This guy's pretty cool. He's kind of thinks like we do.
Oh, God help us all.
I'm actually going to get him on the show as soon as we get the tech to be there. We're just waiting on Apple now.
What's his name?
Sherrod Hall.
All right.
He gave us, remember George Van Tassel?
Yep.
Yeah, he actually thinks that he can finish that where he left off.
Really?
So
awesome. Well, Mr. Hall, good luck to you, and thanks for reaching out, man. That's great.
So he says I should look into the human mutilation cover-up. And I didn't know too much about it. I knew about the cattle mutilations.
Yeah.
We all knew about that. So let's take a look at the cattle mutilations and what they
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
basically, you get these big holes, and then there's no blood. It's just like everything's kind of sucked out of there.
Chupacabra.
Genitals are missing.
Why is it that aliens always want our genitals and anus?
So lower parts of the face, eyes, ears, genitals, like rectums, and there's no blood present. It's just kind of this sucked out of it.
Surgical type cuts, right, at times as well? Did you come across that as well?
Yeah, they're saying that this right here is like precision. It's not like something like an animal would bite with teeth, you know?
Yeah, that does look pretty cut.
But official explanations, they say, animals did this, satanic cults, or it's a secret military project. But the FBI, I have on the own FBI website here. So these are declassified documents
of animal mutilation.
That they're actually looking into it. And I got it here, copy here, so I highlighted some parts. So 1974, they stay here. State veterinarians, after examination of the mutilated animal carcass, contend dead animals were eaten by other animals or varmints believed to be foxes due to their sharp teeth, which were described as shearing teeth like scissors. Kind of sounds like not really.
A stretch.
Yeah. When small animals such as foxes and possums feed on carcasses of large animals such as cattle, they have not decayed. They first feed on the soft tissue, so they're going to feed on the nose, lips, udders, genitals. It has been frequently observed that the genital area is the most, of course, to be attacked because it's,
It's soft tissue.
soft tissue and it's there.
Which is what we talked about before.
This is from Mr. Adams. I can't remember where he was from. He received a call, the editor in the paper for Colorado. There information that U.S. Army helicopters have been seen after these mutilations have taken place. So now we're kind of getting, now the Army's kind of getting involved. So, and this is in the own FBI documents right here. And he got, Edwards had been threatened, but Senator Haskell did not know what sort. So he's getting threatened now.
Yep.
At least 130 cases in Colorado have been reported to local officials. Okay, these are to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the CBI. So 130, we're talking about animal mutilations now. So this is common. I mean, this isn't.
And you know what's crazy about this? Cattle ranchers, okay, they see stuff. They know what predation looks like. That's part of they expect to lose some of their livestock due to that. So when they come out and say, I I've never seen this, and 130 cases of this is something out of the ordinary. There's got to be some stock put in their opinion.
Well, very true.
You know?
Yeah, they're going to see wolves, and foxes eat the carcass
And
of an
they've
animal.
seen all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff, I'm sure, over the years, and then all of a sudden something's different.
Very true.
So they talk again about what's getting eaten off the ears, the sex organs, the easy tissue, of course, and then again with the helicopters being reported after, or when they see helicopters and they see the dead body laying there. So
130 cases in 2 years in 9 states, and multiple ones with helicopters being spotted around or near the mutilations.
Maybe they're picking up the alien that got loose or creature.
now you're getting to the ahead of.
Oh, so they're out searching for the chupacabra.
I gotta win.
But right here, so this is why these people get concerned about it, because now ranchers and themselves are arming livestock with their families and stuff because they're concerned.
They're arming livestock. They're arming to themselves to protect the
thank you.
livestock.
You got a fucking cow out
It's
there
like
with a bazooka.
The Red
Hunters,
Tar
folks.
Bears, you know? Awesome. Yes. Because, they're not going to overreact to something like that. These guys
humans
are
do overreact.
But I just find that those types of salt of the earth folks, they don't want that type of attention. And they'll address it if they can on their own. And only when they see something crazy, they'll do something like that. That's just my experience with the farm ranching type people,
Okay, this one's addressed to the director of the FBI. This is furnished to the Bureau in view of numerous references in this article to the federal investigation agencies and also theories that these mutilations of cattle are only a forerunner for later mutilations of human beings.
so now we get to we did cattle. Now we want to move forward with
They're getting good with the animals and then learn what you can there.
There's one big publicly known case for a human mutilation that happened in Brazil in 1994. And what happened was his left eye was removed, eyelid removed, ear removed, lips, side of jaw, jawbone removed, no blood whatsoever. And they actually, disclaimer here, I got the photos that are going to come up. These are pretty graphic. So if you're squeamish, turn away.
Is this going to be actually pictures of the dude?
Yeah, the body.
Yeah.
Okay, he was found in this Brazil reservoir.
Was he found in the water, or was he found
In the Goripana Reservoir, which would indicate
In
in
the
the
water.
reservoir would be in the
in
water.
the water?
Yeah. So we're looking at kind of the same. You got the whole.
Oh, this must be a different one then, because I don't see the cookie cutter marks on his chest.
Yeah, that's a good point. We got the ear.
Motherfuck.
And then this.
What happened to his pecker?
Look at the. There's an anal core.
Dusty got a hold of
Gone.
What Pete looked like after I was done with him.
Yeah, right.
You guys are sick. That is gross.
But, yeah. And
Now,
then,
if he was found in the water, now where's this at? You said it
Brazil.
was Brazil. Isn't there that fish that could bores into humans and
And do that to
and have
him?
babies and shit, and then they explode later or some shit?
I never heard of that.
Oh,
I think
did
I
anyone
know
else
what.
watch this?
I think I know what you mean, but I'm not.
Not the one that swims up your penis hole.
Okay. No,
No,
some
this is
other
actually
ones.
like a long fish. I saw it on
And it'll
River
look like-
Monsters.
It like the Star Trek ear mite thing where they go in and they reproduce, they feed on your brain.
Well, kind of like that, but what they did was they would go into the body and they'd actually feed on the carcass, and they
The
even
tissue,
talked
yeah.
about they leave small holes and they bore in and they actually eat.
Does
you
the
from
person
inside.
have to be dead first?
They said that they didn't have to be. Now that was a River Monsters thing. I should probably try to find that again, but.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it was in Brazil or not, but maybe this could be a fish of some sort. If he was in the water, that makes sense. If he was outside the water, then it doesn't.
Linda Moulton Howell is a reporter journalist. She had these pictures analyzed by a doctor in the U.S., and he says that they were effects of Agent Orange, which Agent Orange
Is a
Herbicide.
nasty thing. Yep.
is a herbicide used by the U.S. military to kill the crops, bushes, trees of, it was in Malaya, which today is known as Malaysia, to kill off all that stuff. But look at these people. These are examples
Yeah.
of victims.
And
This is
now
a
they just
really-
made it into Roundup.
I don't see any of the holes like we were seeing. One interesting fact: Agent Orange was manufactured by Monsanto.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then after the wars and they started outlawing it, they just turned it into a weed killer. They spray on our corn and soybeans and wheat and stuff.
Yeah, and then we're eating it.
But you're not getting
Jesus.
you're not getting a rectal core from Agent Orange.
You just.
Bring that on a guy.
We
know.
gotta find a way to put that as his desktop at work so he doesn't notice, and then it just pops up.
Just randomly, just it flashes.
But it was analyzed by another doctor too. He disagreed with it and said it wasn't Agent Orange. So there's a stipulation there. But some people are saying Linda Moulton Howe, she was threatened at gunpoint not to go any farther.
Really?
So maybe she's just playing softball. Interesting thing is Margaret Thatcher, she was the prime minister of the UK from 79 to 90, was allegedly hired by Reagan to set up a group to cover these incidents.
Really?
Cover them up, yeah.
No shit.
So even back then, they were involving European powers. Then
Yeah.
This kind of goes in. There's another incident too. We talked about the Dante Pass incident.
Oh yeah.
And this is where that came in because they were saying it kind of matched the animal mutilation cases and the bodies are in a line and there's just stuff that doesn't add up about it. But I think we kind of...
Yeah, we almost debunked that just a wee bit. I mean, or we showed another side of that story by saying they were found in water and animals always attack the soft fleshy parts, like your genitals, your anus, ears, nose. I mean, POW prisoners would report sleeping in cells and then having wake up with their nose being chewed on or their earlobes by rats.
Rats, yeah.
So, and cheeks. I mean, these are really fleshy.
Right.
So, again, I mean, these animals, I mean, who knows how long some of those cattle have been sitting out there and in that, especially Colorado has that heat during the summer. So, yeah, you could probably, an animal might have bit that and then it got baked in the sun and kind of pulled back and made that, the skin kind of comes back a little bit and it could have made that a little bit more of a clear-cut line, too. And then, of course...
Did they say how long that they were sitting out there? That's kind of my
that
concern,
one
too.
picture that you had of that white horse or cow or whatever was bloated and its legs were distended out. So you would have to figure it was out there for a little while to bloat like that. So then, of course, there would be no blood because it would all have leaked out and dried up. So these animals did chew around there and then the skin starts to tighten up because that animal bloats. The skin pulls back and tightens up. You wouldn't have that ragged edge as much. It'd be a clear cut. So, yeah, I mean, those things probably could be, but if you came across a really fresh one, I mean, like, thing just died an hour ago, that would say that, my theory has no credence then.
Well, I think that's some of the photos we've seen here are obviously of animals that have been out a while, but I think that's part of the argument on this mutilation is that some of these people are finding them that are like, yesterday morning, this thing was just fine running around, and now it's been 24 hours, and now it's cut up and missing organs. And
if you could say it wasn't a hot day and it was nice out and whatnot, then you have a better argument. And that's the thing with a lot of this is, I mean, you have two sides because you don't have all the variables. I mean, we're looking at it, and we don't even have all the variables. How long was that animal out there? Was it chewed on? It says there was no footprints, or paw prints. Well, I didn't see any pictures of them showing that there wasn't either at the same time, So there's no blood, no footprints, and the thing's cut up. I'd like to see all of those support.
Well, and you're kind of talking about like the chain of custody or whatever. Let's see, some sort of document where an animal you have documented is alive and then 8 hours later is dead, and then...
Yeah. We kind of do that, yeah.
There's one more incident, too, I want to touch on. Brecon Beacons, and that was in the UK. There was a 4x4 vehicle and the seats were ripped out and there was a mother, dad, son, and daughter, and they were laid out in the field not right next to the truck but a little farther away in a line, the same mutilation.
Now see, that's almost difficult to explain. That's crazy. That one, if you had pictures, and I could almost agree.
I want to get into this military source because this is where it gets really good. There was a reporter, Derek Goff. He found this UK military source he posted signs up around UK that said that he's into this stuff and he wanted to get to the bottom of it. So somebody contacted him. He was one of 11 men selected from the Special Forces regime stationed at Hereford Military Base. his job, he was supposed to be a fast response team. He's always on 24-hour standby. And the secret ops name was called 5-8. And he worked with NATO and the U.S. military. And his job was to cover up the human mutilation cases. It started in the 1980s. And he would go out about 4 times every 6 months. And he personally witnessed 30 to 40 human mutilations.
Yep, okay. In England.
Is there any pictures or anything of these?
He had pictures, but
Yeah,
They're
the
gone.
butt.
Yeah.
Yep, it's the butt.
and then it's a long story. It's in the video. I'm gonna put in the description. They go through. It's like a hour and a half video, so you can watch that. So sometimes this is the other thing too. He would know ahead of time. They would arrive 5 minutes before the UFO came down.
And dropped the bodies.
Yeah, I guess they would have to drop them down. I'm just trying to think.
Or
Meet them, pick them up there. But
or before they actually abducted the humans. And
so they had advanced warning. He didn't know how they had advanced warning. He just told to go there. His job is to just keep people away and then just wait for Americans to arrive. A few times he actually got to personally touch the UFO. His team was always first in and last out.
So he saw craft as well associated with this.
Yeah, he saw aliens.
Cool.
So he says they look exactly like demons, and they remind him of the Arthur C. Clarke's Childhood End, which I got some pictures. Okay, this is the book. And then these are basically and
with the tails and the wings and
I'm
everything?
thinking this is where it comes in. He says they can move 60 meters in 1 second. Extremely strong. And when I listen to that and look at this picture, I'm thinking reptilians. Mm-hmm. And I know you love reptilians, Dusty.
As you can plainly tell, I try to be a little bit cryptic of everything we come across. But he's got 2 damn thumbs and 5 fingers.
Well, this is just the book. He said it reminded him of it.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's not exactly what he saw.
Which is interesting because
Double opposing thumbs. That's interesting.
The reptilian statues have the very large shoulders that wing out. And, I could kind of see where his shoulders, and I could see where he kind of gets that idea.
I know reptilians they have the wings, and then they're strong as fuck, and they got that tail. The bigger the wings are, the higher the royalty in the reptilian scheme of things.
Interesting.
So the reporter Derek I was talking about, he tried to print this story, but he was getting threats. He was told you can't print this story. The UK military source that brought this to him today has multiple sclerosis, which is a condition for high-level radiation.
Oh, really?
So you get the high-level radiation from being close to the UFOs.
Oh.
So now
Which is reported over and over and over, radiation.
Today he's in crutches in a wheelchair. So
lucky fellow.
Not glory being in the secret programs, that's for sure. I also want to mention that he said that the military's actually got lasers that can bring these UFOs down. They can just aim it at them, and then that's how far advanced.
Well, that's
they are today.
allegedly how Roswell came down, is they hit him with that.
I think I heard Roswell was old-fashioned radar that brought them.
Yeah,
down.
it was. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. Yep. But they could somehow direct it toward them and disrupt them even back then.
So here's this article. At the bottom, there's this video that I watched this whole thing, hour 45. I want to play this short clip of Bill Cooper, who's not with us today anymore. He talks about the UFO body parts.
Past.
There were many more saucer crashes and downed craft than what you have realized. There were many more alien bodies recovered, and there were more live aliens recovered than what you are aware of. But that's not important. The important thing is that they occurred, not how many and not where. The important thing is that they occurred. And those of you who want to argue over how many and where and how many bodies are wasting the time of everyone else, because that's not important. What's important is that they occurred. And there are 2 crashes that are so important that the government will go to any lengths to prevent you from finding out. And those are 2 crashes which occurred near the city of Aztec, New Mexico. Why? Because both of those crashed craft contained human body parts. And they are deathly afraid of a national panic.
Now,
Kind of
asking about
freaky.
That is. So 2 crashes that basically were harvester vehicles that when they found human body parts in them.
This topic was a little hard because I am pro-alien, but when you start hearing about some of there's different groups and they could be doing shit like that.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say too. Is that we've covered 7. There's 12 different alien races, or 72 different alien races. They're underground, they're above us, they're everything else. And that's why I have such an issue. I mean, because I'm pro-alien too, to a degree, but then we have so many different ones or different stories, and they're here to help us. There's 7 of them that are all like with us and protecting the earth, and then now we're talking about one of them that are not protecting the earth and they're trying to harvest us. And so that's why I always have a little bit of an issue with these stories.
There's illegal organ harvesting going on in humans,
all
doing
the
it to
time,
other
everywhere.
humans,
Yeah.
and that there are big agencies protecting us and evil.
Yep, and cloning and all that good stuff.
That's going on underneath it. So it's just at
That's
a greater level. I don't find that really that hard to believe because it's just what's going on right now that everybody's aware of only on a
Then wouldn't you go ahead?
level.
I mean, if you're I don't understand why, if this is all happening, they just don't go ahead and tell us. For one, I know they have that fear, and we've talked about it 100 times on the show. But I mean, that would be a great way to present aliens. Is, hey, guess what? These aliens are trying to cut off your nads and shoot something up your anus. We have all these other aliens trying to help us out, and we're part of a bigger galactic family.
It's gonna
never do,
happen.
and
I just don't know how it's gonna happen.
Yeah, they're
Because
in order for
I
the
don't
New
think they
World
want mass
Order.
panic either.
Yep.
But in wrapping summary, because we're about out of time here, I just want to think. If you think to yourself, how many people go missing all the time in the U.S.
Thousands.
and especially at the national parks. I got a statistic here: 200,000 people go missing and never found in the U.S. every year. One claim that I read was a military guy said that they do this to animals to check for radiation levels.
Oh, so remove the soft tissue because that's the easiest one, and do the testing.
Well, that's
on
where it probably gets stored, maybe, right?
fat.
But could be maybe, but I don't know. I guess when they say they see military helicopters, but then was that after the aliens were there, and so you start getting into this whole thing. This is a big topic.
And on top of
it delves into a lot of other areas too.
it does, and then you say, "Oh, I saw military helicopters," but I mean, where were they? I mean, we're talking about Colorado, where you have major military bases. So if you go out, you see a dead cow, it's been cut up a little bit, and then you're like, "Oh, look over there, there's a helicopter," and then instantly you imagine that it's military.
Yeah.
You instantly think that it was there when it could be miles away.
Yep, and it had something to do with that weird thing you're
Exactly,
looking at right now.
because you're looking for answers. The brain wants to know what the fuck is going on, so you're instantly trying to put shit together. I mean, especially you walk up upon something that looks very strange and there's no blood, and you're like, whoa, and you get a little nervous. You're looking for something to rationalize what you've seen. And if that means you got to go to the government's cutting up my cattle, I'm not saying it's not happening, but it's just, I want more from it.
One
too.
thing, Dusty, though, a human being will do is to look at that situation and they'll go and start putting all of their already known explanations up against it. Could this have happened? Could this have happened? And only when all of those more commonsensical explanations are eliminated do they start going into these
The crazy stuff,
the
right?
crazy stuff.
Okay.
And you have to kind of watch the individuals that instantly always just jump to the crazy stuff without eliminating those common sense things. But I'll tell you what, with those 130 cattle mutilations in 2 years in 9 states, not every one of those people jumped to this, oh, it's got to be aliens. Some of them I'm sure were brought there kicking and screaming along the way.
Yeah, I can see that. But I also see if a lot of other people are saying that's what it is, and you're saying you're
Power of
rational.
suggestion
Yeah,
or
you're going to
whatever, yeah.
rationalize
Here's my
it.
thing: if it is aliens, wouldn't they have the technology to get rid of the body?
Incinerate
Why
it
leave
into a little just dust and off it goes.
Like I was there with
I mean, shit, you
Jonathan
can take it
Reed.
up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Or you take it up in space and jettison it towards the sun. Who the fuck's going to know, right?
NASA photos of dead mutilated cows
They
floating around.
But I guess
they just
reports-
they just shoot it at Mars, and now it's all the shit we're seeing on Mars. It looks like animals are actually just
They
the
were
bones
dumping
of
and
fucking
dumping.
dumping.
I guess reports like if this happens to a person and they know about it and they go to collect the body and they know who it is, that's all that gets reported is the guy's missing, and that's it. They can't say that he's legally dead, so the family just thinks he's missing,
Yep,
and that's
gone.
the end of it.
Yep.
So
Oh, it's a really good topic.
anyway, something to think about. What are they using the body parts for? I mean, this is a pretty deep topic. I mean, it could be used for their reproduction or recharging of their like the Fountain of Youth.
Maybe they're trying to figure out how a human body can cope with all of the UV radiation on surface living and stuff.
Here's a statistic, though, but you know what they use foreskin for from human babies?
Pepsi.
Cosmetics.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's
Pepsi?
what this is, kind of.
Didn't they have fetuses in
Yeah,
Pepsi?
fetal tissue for Pepsi, too. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds
It's
delicious.
Yeah.
Sick world, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
And so, I guess we're out of time here.
Don't forget to vote.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This is some crazy shit, guys. Don't go jump over to the K2D4 network, and we might do some live streaming too, as well as you guys.
Oh, like we're doing on social?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, come on!
See how it goes. So we'll check that out.
Have fun.
See you later.
Hello? Hello? Oh no, Superman not here.
Human mutilation cover-up.
It's kind of scary.
This is does this go back in the 40s and 50s, the mutilation, or is this more recent?
Yeah.
The 40s, where they were dropping people in the middle of New York City all fucking...
Well, I never heard about that. You're going to have to chime in on that.
Yeah. Oh, there was back... Right after, was it Eisenhower struck
I'll save
the
it for
first...
the show.
You do that to me like every time. You get really good.
Your eyes get big, and we got to keep that
Yeah,
for the show.
yeah. Yeah, it's you have very compelling topics every time, Dan. I enjoy it. I got to step
This
up
was from a viewer, actually.
Oh, good. Yeah, I got to step up my game.